Hi guys, welcome back to another video of your channel. So today's topic is oral hematoma in dogs. So this comes under veterinary surgery and radiology section, and this comes under regional surgery 1, that is affections of the ear. So let's move to the video. If you haven't subscribed this channel yet, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more updates. So this is actually the surgical anatomy of the ear. You can see it's the vertical canal, this inner ear, the middle ear, the eardrum. This is the horizontal canal. And you can see, so this is the vertical canal, this is the pinna, the ear flap. So it's the skull bone, the cochlea, the tympanic bullae, the tympanic eardrum, the osseous external acoustic meatus. This is the mandibular gland, this is the parotid gland. So this is actually the surgical anatomy of the ear. So oral hematomas may occur in dogs or cats and are usually characterized by fluctuant fluid-filled swellings on the concave surface of the pinna. Always be vigilant, it will be present in the concave surface of the pinna. So the entire concave surface of the pinna or only a part of it may be involved. So usually the oral hematoma may include the entire concave surface, or sometimes it may be affected to a part only. So oral hematoma is actually a collection of blood or serosanguinous fluid within the skin and the cartilage. That is a cartilage of the skin, cartilage of the ear and the skin. So there will be accumulation of blood. So it usually arises as self-inflicted injury from your pet's scratching or head shaking or whatever. So this is actually the swelling. So you can see this is the skin. So this is the cartilage. And what happens, any blood vessel, when it has got a burst or excess endothelial gaps, the blood will ooze out and they will accumulate within the gap of cartilage and the skin. So the swelling will be like this. So the underlying causes include all conditions that result in otitis externa. So what happens? This will continue into the otitis externa, that is infection of external ear canal. So hematoma formation has also been associated with increased capillary fragility. So actually whenever an animal is suffering from Cushing's disease, the capillary fragility will be in a higher rate, increased capillary fragility. So what happens, there will be endothelial gaps or gaps in the capillary vessels. So through those vessels, the blood and the fluid ooze out. So oral hematoma is the most common result of physical injury or trauma to the pinna or the flap of the ear. So the condition is actually very common in dogs with chronic otitis externa and less common in cats actually. So etiology, that is actually auricular vessel trauma. So vessels or the sub-vessels of auricular vessels will be mainly supplying the external and the concave or the convex part of the ear. So due to any scratching or shaking or rubbing, that is due to otitis pruritus, what happens? Trauma happens in case of auricular vessel. Head shaking may cause sinusoidal wave motions in the ear, resulting in the fraction of cartilage. The hematoma appears to originate from branches of great auricular artery within the fractured auricular cartilage. So discomfort from otitis may be predisposing cause also. So otitis externa or the chronic pruritic otitis will lead the animal to shake head, scratch or rub it. So that will result in breaking of what the arteries and all. So that leads to increased endothelial gaps. So what happens? Blood ooze out and they get filled between the skin and the cartilage. So etiology is actually inflammation, immune-mediated disease like Cushing's disease, allergies, parasites, foreign bodies, trauma, that is bite wound or multiple blunt traumas. So most animals usually have an associated infection, that is secondary bacterial infection. So this moving to the symptoms of hematoma in dogs. So the clinical symptoms will be fluid-filled, soft, fluctuating swelling on the concave surface of the pinna. So the pain will be there. So in case of chronic cases, what happens? The lesions becomes firm, fibrotic and condensed to form a cauliflower-like appearance. So this term will be asked in case of many exams and all. So swelling associated with an oral hematoma is most apparent on the concave inner surface of the pinna. The swelling is soft and warm in the early stages, but in case of chronic, it will be like they will be firm, fibrotic and condensed, and they will be having cauliflower appearance. So this is actually patient with oral hematoma. You can see different stages of oral hematoma treatment. This is a case of oral hematoma. So you can see these are the pictures of oral hematomas. So this is the ear flap, this is the ear canal, and the blood get accumulated in between the skin and the cartilage. So you can see this is the thickness. So how will your vet will treat your dog's hematoma? So how can a vet easily diagnose and treat? So there will be swelling, and sometimes it may be due to any secondary bacterial infection and all, which will be resulting in chronic oral hematoma that will have a structure of cauliflower contracture. And by that time, it might have got the scar tissue. The diagnosis will be fine needle aspiration cytology, that is FNAC. So they will be simply aspirating a needle and they will be taking the fluid inside and they will be moving for the cytology. So where there are many other tests such as allergy testing, ear swab testing, endocrine testing and all. So these are the equipments which will be used to examine any ear infection, that is ear speculum, otoscope, ear forceps and all. So the treatment has got two main protocols, that is medical management and surgical management. So for medical underlying ear disease should be appropriately treated first. So needle aspiration of oral hematoma with and without concurrent injection of corticosteroid. So it can be treated. Surgical management, that is actually numerous techniques have been described for surgical management. So main one of the technique is incision and suturing. That is, first of all, we have to restrain the animal in lateral recumbency, keeping the affected ear on the top. The animal should be on based on general anesthesia. So procedure is actually make an S-shaped linear incision on the concave surface of the ear and expose the hematoma and its content from end to end. Remove the fibrin clots and all and irrigate the cavity. Place 3 to 4 or 1 centimeter long sutures through the skin on the concave surface of the ear and underlying cartilage. So this is the small S-shaped incision. So place the sutures parallel to the major vessels. They may be placed either through the cartilage without incorporating. So be vigilant so that you won't cause any trauma to the main arterial supply. So do not ligate the branches of great auricular artery that is visible on the convex surface of the ear. So place an ample number of sutures so that the pus pockets are left in which fluid can accumulate. No pus pockets are left in which fluid can accumulate. So what is our aim? That is, it should not recur. That is actually our aim. So place a light protective bandage over the ear, support the ear over the animal's head. So next is aspiration and placement of drain. That is, for this also we have to keep the animal in lateral recumbency and general anesthesia. So procedure will be trim half of the collar of the cannula to allow the tube. So you can see, so this is actually, you will be completely draining it. Empty the hematoma of the fluid and fibrin and use a mosquito or alligator forceps to bring the drain into the hematoma cavity. Suture the ends of the drain to the skin where they protrude from the cavity. So the incision site always should not be sutured because we have to give a small gap through which the pus can drain out in case of the first method. So thank you.